Welcome back to another quick dive. This is, I have to fact check it. I should have before, but this is a new quick dive for episode recap and review and theories for the latest WandaVision episodes, episode 5 and 6, which is so far consuming a lot of people's lives.
It's everywhere.
But this is
all over the internet.
Would you say it's like a hex?
Come
on, man. We just started.
Your memory's not getting wiped. This is quick dive number 5.
All right, let's go. Episode 5.
Episode 5.
If you guys want to be our fact checker, let us know.
Yo, if you want to be the sound click, the fact checker on sound, we will pay you in coffee and good vibes.
Some of your duties may include reminding Skywalker Mike what episode it is, as well as fact-checking our mispronunciation of many actor and actresses' names.
Not only that, but stopping me from saying stupid jokes.
No, we can't. I don't think anybody can do that.
I don't think anybody can do that.
Well, good. Because I've been saying them anyways. Yo, what's up, guys? Okay, so I rewatched the episodes right now.
Who are you?
Me?
They know it's on the screen, but I guess for those not watching on YouTube.
Oh yeah,
not everybody. Don't be discriminatory to the people who can't see the screen.
Yo, you're right. My bad. I be forgetting, bro.
But I'm Skywalker Mike.
Yo, what's good, guys? My name is Aces here. You know, guys, it's been a week. It's been a week.
And this is your boy Norik. That's cool. Here, we're happy to be with you guys at the end of this week. We're gonna talk about WandaVision.
Yeah, we're back with some more WandaVision talk for those that have been keeping up with the show or with us. Episode 5. Let's get into episode 5.
Let's do it. Right away.
This was what episode? What timeline was that? It was like
this was like late 80s, early 90s, a little bit, because this is when Agnes bursted into the house,
like always,
ready to do her jazzercises. And jazzercising is like an early 90s, it's like a 1990 type of thing, but she kind of had this 80s kind of get up on.
It was kind of like carrying over. So it was very
Wanda. I don't feel like Wanda has like a grip of time and what happened when. She just kind of guessing. She's like, I guess that's the.
She is Sokovian.
Yeah, she is Sokovian.
That's a good thing to point out, because could she be not so focused on everything like she was, to where these decades are kind of combining? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, that kind of goes back to what she said at the end of the episode, when Vision was like, what are you doing? Like, what's going on? And she's like, well, why would I do all that? How could I do that? But in this episode, she's starting to fade out of the suburban family, and she's trying to show her powers more, and she's more open to it. Which I noticed in the beginning of the episode. I think this is the episode where they get the dog. Is that?
Yeah. So the episode starts off with the twins, and this is where we really started seeing some things ramp up, where these twins are aging very, very rapidly. Right. And we're unsure if Wanda is doing this or if the twins are doing it, but Vision is now suspicious of everything that's going on. He's like
breaking out of the spell.
Kind of, yeah. He's just like, you're using your powers in front of Agnes. Now, this part was really, really crazy to me, because Agnes, up until this point, a lot of people believe that Agnes is Agatha Harkness, who is a person who's kind of like orchestrating this also. But this is the first time that we see Agnes kind of like
asking for direction.
Asking direction, asking for what she should do from Wanda. And that was super crazy to me. I was like, wait a minute. Like, okay, is she who we think that she is? Is she just playing along? Or does she know that this is crazy and that she's just playing this part and nobody can leave?
Yeah, I think Wanda thinks this. I mean, Wanda, Vision thinks the same thing because I think at first he was suspicious of her, and then after that, he was kind of like, "Wait, what's going on?" Like, I thought you could control yourself, you know.
Right.
Then that's kind of why I don't want you to hold my kids because I don't trust you, type of thing. And then he quickly figures out, okay, maybe there's something deeper at play here.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I think in that same episode, Viz, I think it's shortly after that, Viz goes to work and they're setting up computers and everybody's trying to figure out what these new devices do. And
you mean this is a calculator and a messaging device all in one?
Yeah. And he's like, can I probably find a relationship? And he's like, yeah, eventually.
Eventually. That's funny.
But it's funny because like Vision himself was a computer. So I think they mentioned that. Or like, what are you, some type of computer whiz? And he's like, yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
Which was, I guess, a little Easter egg or hint towards him being Jarvis. And
and this is another time where we see the outside world communicating with the inside of Wanda's world that she has inside the hex. And we get some emails that are disguised they're disguised as emails, but they were communications from Darcy and from Sword trying to figure out what's going on in the hex.
So was that on purpose? Did they know that maybe he could, or that he would stumble upon it? Or was that like an email that just happened to get captured and brought in once he connected to the internet?
I feel like, and this can most likely get confirmed in the next episode, I thought it was just they were just receiving it at that time.
Yeah, because I thought it was an accident. I don't know if they were intentionally trying to reach somebody inside or otherwise. So I mean, to like the way it seemed like it was an accident, because it didn't look like it was directed towards Viz. It looked like it was directed for somebody higher up to read it, and it could have been an email that the director from Sword sent to Nick Fury or something like that, and they happened to intercept it somehow.
Right.
And then after that, that's when Viz pretty much snaps Norm out of his state of being hypnotized, I guess, or voodooed, and he tells him that she's controlling all of them. He doesn't mention who, he just says she. So at that point, I kind of figured it was Agatha or somebody else, because I'm like, well, he didn't mention who, and I think he would have said Wanda. But then in the next episode, we kind of find out that it is Wanda.
Yeah.
But yeah, like pretty much it seems like Wanda. I mean, I know there's theories like, oh, it's Mephisto, it's Nightmare, but I feel like right now what we have in front of us, like it's all Wanda. Everything is pointing towards it being Wanda, you know? Like so far we haven't really got any other antagonist, you know, as far as we've gone, you know, up until episode 5 and 6.
Yeah. And this is the first time where in the show, you know, Vision, we're kind of like seeing the split of what's going on. So while Vision is researching, trying to figure out, okay, there's definitely something weird here, and my wife is not being honest with me about it. I need to figure out what's going on. Wanda is busy raising the twins, and the twins have demonstrated that they can just age themselves up whenever they want. And that goes to my theory that I had at the beginning of this, in that by the end of this show, her twins are going to be of age to be superheroes themselves. And
potentially the Young Avengers.
Potentially the Young Avengers. So the way that that is kind of materialized, and the way that we've seen that was pretty cool. And you know, it's just regular kind of suburban life. Her twin boys end up, you kind of get a little bit more of their personality since they just got older, which I thought was pretty cool. You see like the little differences between them. Right. And then they end up getting into some shenanigans and finding a dog. And they haven't named the dog yet, but they have a dog. I don't know. Have you guys ever like hit it? I think it's like super 90s or 80s type of situation, but have you guys ever found a dog and hid it from your family?
I found a cat. It's probably why I hate cats now. Can't stand them. They're little.
Did you you tried to hide it from your mom before you showed it to her? Like you tried to take care of it?
No, yeah. So he lived outside in the yard, and I would just like we had a pool at the time, so I would like play in the pool, and I would like bring him in there with me, and I would feed him. But my mom didn't know. Then one day she saw him in the pool with me, and she was just like, "What the hell are you doing with the cat?" I was like, he's mine. Yeah.
What'd you name the cat?
Swimming with you in the pool?
Yeah.
Or like he was just poolside. He was swimming with you? Interesting.
Yeah, he would. He would just be chilling in the pool.
That's a unique cat for it to like water like that.
What was the cat's name? I don't think I named it. Swimming?
Sparky.
Swimming. Something ironic like that. Fieldy. I found him in the field. Floaty. That's not a bad name. It's not a bad name for a cat.
But going off of what Noriko was saying, real quick about them aging, I think they can only do that together. I think it's like they have to have a mutual like understanding.
Yeah.
Like, we need to do it together. I don't think it's one can age up while the other one stays a certain age. Like I think they do it together
because they're twins.
Yeah. I think it has to do with like mixing their powers with, you know, bending reality and speeding and speed. You know, like they're speeding up their reality and like they have to merge. It's kind of like
what's the anime thing when they're like taking the form of a fish?
Yeah,
what is that's the Wonder Twins.
Yeah, the Wonder Twins.
Yeah, the Wonder Twins.
Bucket of water, and then they just do that together, and then
yeah, it's something like that.
That is cool.
Morphine is so like strange. I was like, oh, that looks weird. That they just
which is definitely it's really cool because if that's like we got a really good glimpse at their abilities before they were able to individually do it, and they did it like together, and that is a power that can change a lot of things.
Oh yeah.
You know, that they're just able to bend their reality and age themselves up. And I thought that was pretty cool for us to get that so soon.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, agreed. Yeah, and then you know, I this episode, yeah, like going back to how you said, there's some suspicion going on. I remember, what was it? I totally
which part?
I think
when the dog died, or when they got out of the house.
Yeah,
and the dog ran away.
Yeah. No, it was right before that. I mean, this is the episode 2 where she goes out of the bubble and she starts talking to Sora, correct? And from there, you know, she still sees Wanda still sees that Monica is still there, which is kind of weird to me that she's more worried about Monica than she is than Sword, because she's like, Sword is here, but she doesn't really she tells him to leave him alone, but when she sees Monica, she really wants to like,
she starts pulling her powers out ready to like try to kill her.
Which is weird that she sees her as a threat more than, obviously she saw Sword as a threat too, but when she saw Monica, she was like, oh, like
I don't think it's so weird, because if you put it as to where Wanda was under control and kind of knows, my assumption is she knows what every person's health is, every person's diagnosis is, right? So who's to say that she doesn't know that Monica has superpowers? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Do you think she knows?
I feel like that she doesn't know. I think one of the things with Monica is that she got into the Hex without Wanda knowing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like Wanda knew everybody that was, I mean, she may not know them, you know, but like she knows enough. Yeah, she knows enough of like who's there, and to have a person infiltrate and say something that nobody else in the town would know, I think really threatened her, because now she's like, I don't know who to trust even in this town that I'm controlling myself. True. You know, if they're able to get in here, like the first time she was able to catch it with Beekeeper. She saw that, oh, okay, nope, you're the Beekeeper, you shouldn't be in here, and that's why she said no, and it all like reversed. We don't even know where he's at. Like, who knows?
Yeah, we don't
but
know.
He's beekeeping.
Right? With Monica, he was like, I think that she felt more threatened because she was like, I missed that. Like, you caught me off guard and I let you in and you delivered my twins.
Yeah.
And, so there's like a lot of
Yeah.
that's kind of there. But I don't think that she knows that she has powers, because that's something that Darcy figures out on the next episode.
True.
Very, very true.
So I thought that was honestly the craziest Avengers moment when she came out of the Hex. Like, that was when I felt like the budget was here. Like, I felt like, okay, the movie, like, everything is really
right. This is a low
up.
quality. Yeah, this is lower quality. This is the same quality that we're getting. Yeah,
it's game time. I was like, it's game time when she came out of there, and just let them know, like, this is your only warning.
Yeah, I mean, Wanda knows. It's weird because after all this, she goes back inside and other things happen, but she knows what she's doing. But at moments, she acts like she doesn't know what she's doing. I don't know if that's like side effects from her powers of the grief that she's going through. Like, she's grieving all this and she can't control it to the point where it creates this alternate I guess, like, character for her, like, because you notice sometimes when she's like, I don't know what's going on, like, we're just like, just enjoy it, and then at moments she knows, like, yeah, like, this is for us, like, this is all for us, like, why can't you just, like, deal with that?
I think that's just her playing the part and trying to stay in character. I think it's her not trying to corrupt her own mindset. Because we've seen what happens when that happens. Like, when she mentions Pietro, next thing you know, we see Vision looking like his dead self. You know what I mean? I think it's more so trying to protect her own vision. If
try not to snap out of
exactly
the reality.
It's kind of like hypnotizing yourself too. And then I think that she's also dealing with the grief. If you're grieving over something, sometimes it's like it's hard for you to believe that it's the case, and if you accept it, then it becomes real. So, like, she has moments of trying to not accept it. Yeah, almost. Yeah, it's basically moments of denial. That's why she's like that. But then when she gets put in an opportunity to be honest, then it kind of lowers her ability to continue, to continue the facade, so to speak. And, so we see that she's getting a little bit more reckless, a little bit more cavalier with her powers in front of people, because Vision is becoming more aware. And it's almost like she wants Vision to know, because I think that it's probably very difficult for her to keep up the facade. But at the same time, she can't tell Vision that he's dead. Yeah. But she just wants Vision to be on her side, but Vision is being true to who he was, and that's kind of who she made him to be too. So he's like, there's something going on here. You're not telling me something.
Right. Yeah,
exactly. And they get to this argument where they're flying. Yeah, your background, they're flying. Wanda has her powers out, and Vision. Honestly, I love this part of the drama. Like, I really, really liked how Vision was kind of yelling at her. There was like this sense of just desperation, of him just not knowing what's going on, and him wanting and yearning to find out because he loves her. And he's like, but if, like, I want to be able to protect you. I'm made to protect. And if you're not telling me what I need to know, then how am I supposed to protect you? But little does he know that she's protecting him. And I love the bit when the credits started rolling and he was like, nah, we're not done here. We're not just going to go to another show. I thought that was really cool. Or another episode.
Yeah, he does mention that he doesn't believe her because, that'd just be ignoring statistics, which is what he's not built for. He's literally a computer, and I guess, what do they call him? A synthezoid android?
Yeah, synthezoid. Yep. Synthezoid and he asked, he was like, where are the kids? Where they're like, there's no other kids that are here. Right. And then right. And then we get hit with the biggest wow of the entire show,
Right.
for the
Thus
very
far.
very first
Thus
time.
far, right.
Yeah, well, talking in current time is when we were watching this, we get a doorbell, we get a ring.
Ding dong.
Who's at the door?
I thought it
Now
was Doctor
Vision
Strange.
Vision doesn't feel compelled to change his form. I thought that was really, really interesting. He was just kind of like, I'm so upset right now. I don't care who sees me right now.
Right.
And then we open the door, we get the back of the head of the hair. He looks like someone familiar. And then we get Pietro. But Pietro from Fonzie. But Uncle Pietro, which I thought was a great play on that whole like having the uncle come through and that kind of Fonzie, like I thought that was
edgy,
awesome. Right? Yeah, I thought that was so cool. But this is huge. This is the first time that Marvel has taken a character that has been in the Fox movies and have used it in a brand new property. And I think everyone was really surprised that they did this so soon. This means that anything is possible for any show coming forward. Like Falcon and the Winter Soldier, who knows who can show up? Wolverine could be in there for all we know. Right. Like we have no idea what Marvel's willing to do. And doing something like this really showed like, okay, this is what we're capable of. Yeah. And I love that Darcy mentioned that he got recasted. I thought that was great. This show is just really self-aware. And I thought that was a really cool aspect. And honestly, this gives me hope for the Deadpool movie. Because
Deadpool 3 is gonna...
If they can be this self-aware, like they're gonna knock it out of the park with Deadpool. It's gonna be insane. But yes, so we see Pietro as this Quicksilver, and we're left hanging like with that. And
one of the questions that I have with Pietro is when the doorbell rings. Usually she rolled the credits so she can control everything, but when the doorbell rings, she says that it's not her that did it. This is. I'm that at that point it's like, okay, is it Wanda or is it someone else? But at this point we can only assume it was Wanda.
It's Wanda,
just lying. Or like I said, it could be all a side effect and she's not in control of her reach of her powers or something like that. But I mean that kind of goes into the next episode, and he also is self-aware, like you mentioned how Marvel is self-aware of itself. He points things out in this next episode that get you thinking, and is he aware or is he
is he a manifestation of Wanda or is he a different person? Which I like their dialogue that they went through, and we'll get there real quick. I definitely just want to acknowledge that in this episode we have Halloween, and we get one of the coolest things ever is we get original suits of everybody. We get Vision in his original suit. We get Scarlet Witch as a Sokovian fortune teller. And we get Uncle Pietro in his Quicksilver garb. And I just thought that was awesome. It's super cheesy. It's not anything, which in the comics it is cheesy,
Yeah.
But then we also get the kids being their original costumes, Wiccan and Speed. They get to wear their costumes too. So I really, really like the play on the Halloween episode, and how they got to see these kids now. All of a sudden, because Vision said in his last episode, "Where the kids?" Now there's all these kids that have shown up. So Wanda's learning and she's picking up on things and adding them to their world to make it more authentic.
Yeah. He pretty much pointed it out, and she's like, "You know what? You're right.
I'm also wondering, because how she can't make things appear out of thin air. I'm not sure if she made the adults younger or if the kids were just asleep or kind of like stagnant throughout the other, like the first 4 or 5 episodes.
I think they were just hidden, they were there, but she didn't think she needed to utilize them until that point. She's like, okay, I need to use this.
Yeah, I think I agree with you on that. What we got to see was Vision this is the first episode where we see Vision going on his own mission. where he's like, okay, I need to figure out what's going on, but I can't let Wanda know. So I'm going to the office, or I'm going to go work on this neighborhood watch. And what that allowed him to do is to see that, from what it seems like, the farther you're away from Wanda in the city, the less movement you have as an individual.
Right.
So you start to slow down, and you can get to a point where you're frozen until Wanda is near you, and then you become part of what she needs to see. So
Right.
we're getting like a sense of her range of being in control of what's going on,
Mhm.
and I thought that that was really, really interesting and really eerie, added this really nice eerie effect to it. And we have Vision trying to get to the edge of the hex, um,
Past Ellis Street.
past Ellis Street. And Wanda previously told her kids to not go past that street, because obviously Wanda knows that that's where the edge of the hex is. And
Right.
she doesn't want her kids getting, running into that or knowing anything about it.
Yeah. Yeah, that part is
So,
interesting. When Vision is going to the edge, obviously he sees all these people frozen and he's still confused as to why they're not moving, compared to Norm, that can move, but he's still under some type of control. It kind of goes back to even when Monica said she was like in excruciating pain. Like, imagine being able to move and have Wanda think for you. Like, that's pretty bad. But imagine the people that can't move, they're
mhm,
literally frozen. They can't even think about escaping, which is something that Agnes mentions when Vision finds her and snaps her out of it,
mhm.
which was
Which is that was a little weird, huh?
it's a little weird that she was on the edge of town. You know,
Mhm,
I'm not sure if she was kind of fighting Wanda while she was distracted, and maybe when she's around her brother, she's a little distracted so people can think for themselves a little bit. And she tried to get out of there, but when she got to the edge, she froze. It could be that,
mhm,
or there could be something more sinister that she was trying to figure out. But when he
mhm,
snaps her out, she sees Vision and she's like, "You're Vision. You're an Avenger. Help me." And he's like, "I'm here to help you. And yes, I'm Vision, but what's an Avenger?"
mm,
And at that point, it confused me because in the episode before, he does mention, "I don't know what my life was before this." He doesn't remember anything. That he doesn't
mhm,
remember Tony Stark. He doesn't remember Ultron. He only knows what Wanda knows, or what
Right.
mhm,
Wanda wants him
Wanda
to.
wants him to know.
mhm. Yeah,
So
without the Mind Stone,
he has no
he doesn't
mind.
have a mind.
Okay.
So.
So what I kind of touched base on with Skywalker before we started up everything, um, Kevin Feige's a genius in a sense that these were recorded months ago, right? These were recorded like a long time ago, or the episodes were put together script wise and everything. Um, what I'm assuming Kevin Feige did, because I still believe Agnes is a part of it, even though this kind of shot down some theories, right? This is what a lot of people were thinking, like, oh, this shoots down my theory of that being Agatha or anything like that, right? Or
Mhm,
her having any type of involvement. But upon the second like watching of it, is I feel like it's just really crappy acting that Agnes is a part of it, and she just wanted Vision's attention some way for somehow. Not sure why,
mhm,
but I'm taking it as like he's kind of like he watched this before any of us did, and was just like, okay, like when we do this, this is when people are going to be dissecting the episode like this, so we have to give them kind of like a curveball to kind of throw them off the scent of what their theories are, because he knows how smart everybody is. He knows how quick the internet is. You know what I mean?
mhm,
So I'm
mhm.
taking it as just like he's trying to throw us off the scent, which is kind of freaking genius considering that this was finished months ago.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, I mean, shouts out to Kevin, because he really has all of this stuff is planned out years in advance.
yeah,
Right.
Like, he knew what was going to happen in Infinity War and Endgame back when Age of Ultron just came out.
Right.
They were figuring that stuff out. So I have a feeling he knows how, Fantastic Four is going to get involved. He knows how the mutants are going to get
Yeah.
involved. He knows who the next big or antagonist is going to be and how they're going to do what they do. Um, he has kind of all that figured out.
yeah, true. So after Agatha goes back to Town Square after she breaks back into the spell. Vision turns back into his movie form. Like you had mentioned, the
Mm-hmm.
budget is really starting to kick in, and you can notice it. He flies up, he gets a view from above, and sees that there's nothing pretty much going past Ellis Ave. He tries to go towards it. He starts to break out of it, and Sword gets a warning that something is coming out of the hex.
Mm-hmm.
And this
Which
is
is
one of my
crazy
favorite
because
parts.
yeah, and Sword has been tracking Vision. So that's kind of like to what we were talking about earlier in that episode before when when Vision was with Norm, you know, was he supposed to get that information? Like is Sword trying to lure Vision out of the hex so that they can capture him? And I feel like that's what this episode kind of showed, is that the director is really just trying to get Vision and save Vision, because if they blow up the whole place, then Vision gets destroyed as well. So they want to
Right.
get Vision out before they blow up the place. And I
Yeah.
think that part of that was kind of luring him to this edge.
Yeah, I mean, Sword has a different agenda. I mean, we saw, I think it was in the episode before that we didn't mention, Wanda taking Vision's body from Sword headquarters and taking him to where they are now at the Hex. So I can see Sword trying to probably lure him out. That's kind of what it seemed. They didn't do much though when he was getting out of the Hex. I don't know if they're hoping he can make it out on his own and they can then communicate with him. But I don't think he can leave the hex. I don't think if he's that far from Wanda, he will literally just die again.
He just becomes he just becomes nothing, everything, because obviously Wanda's using her powers to hold him together. You know what I mean? He's just gonna fall apart. That's all it is. Like his body, we saw how dissected his body was when he was in the headquarters on the operation table. So he's gonna turn into that again.
Yeah, yeah, it sucks because at that point it's when I think it was Wiccan who heard Vision suffering and then went to go tell Wanda like Dad's in trouble. I don't know where he is. He's around a bunch of.
Not only that, but Quicksilver says something super gnarly that kind of brings
Yeah.
the real world back to Wanda again.
Yeah, he says your dead. It's not like your dead husband can die twice. Is that what you're referring to?
Right, exactly. Says not like your dead husband can die twice. Where the boys don't even know what that means. Like they're standing right there and they're like, "What do you mean my dad's dead?" You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So and then she uses her powers, throws him into the hay bale.
It's crazy how much he knows because, I mean, yeah, he knows they're together now, but he didn't know they were together before that because obviously he's not in that universe and the original Pietro died in Age of Ultron. And that's when Vision was made. So he doesn't know that Vision had died before.
Right.
So it's weird that Quicksilver knew that.
Yeah, I think that adds to the theory of him being someone else.
Right.
You know, or in manifesting that. But I thought it was really cool. One, like a quick callback is when they showed them trick-or-treating before and they dressed up as Nick Fury and Black Widow. I thought that was a nice little callback. I thought another cool callback was on the movie theater panel. It said The Incredibles, and the Parent Trap.
Yeah.
Which I thought were great. You know, a family of superheroes as well as twins. I thought that was just like really cool stuff. But their dialogue was really interesting because Quicksilver was like just in awe of what she's done. And even in what he said was that like, yeah, I don't know, like I got killed and then
I was in the middle of the street, got shot.
Yeah, all of a sudden I heard you and I knew you needed me. So in my mind, it's like Wanda had to go and get Vision and recover him, but just by the mere mention of her brother, she was able to reanimate his body and have him use his power to run over to her to get into the hex.
That's the confusing thing though, because if if she's gonna reanimate his body, wouldn't it be the original Pietro and not the X-Men Quicksilver? That's
maybe
that's like the deeper question because it's like, okay, yeah, she can do that, but why would she recast him?
Not only that, but you have to remember bodies decompose. Like, yes, he's a superhero, but that picture died more than 5 years ago. You know what I mean? So it'll be like a skeleton. So again, I still think she pulled from the multiverse. That's just me. Or if it's somebody else that pulled. Yeah.
If because if it is the Evan Peters Quicksilver, then he was already either in that universe or, you know, somewhere, you know, I guess
She
in
just
another
pulled from
multiverse.
somewhere.
Because we got to remember, like, all this is happening at this point. Spider-Man, the movie or the story is probably over sometime around at this point, as what I can assume. So maybe now Doctor Strange and Spider-Man are working together or something, and maybe Doctor Strange is opening all these multiverses, and once he opens it, and you know, he heard Wanda, he ran through the portal real quick. You know, there's so many different things that it can be, and there's so many different, I guess, perceptions or perspectives that we have yet to see from this. Because I think in the future, with movies coming out, more shows coming out, there's going to be a lot more answers for this show.
Yeah, especially with Doctor Strange, because Doctor Strange was snapped. So after Endgame, Doctor Strange had to realize there was 5 years without a Sorcerer Supreme. Right. That is a problem. That's a huge problem. That means people were not, Dormammu wasn't kept in check. There are other entities and other villains and other mythical beings that just weren't kept in check.
Where you get people like Mephisto.
Exactly. So he's probably super busy trying to keep track of everything that's going on. And I think what's happening with Wanda is that she's getting more and more powerful to the point where he has to turn his attention to her, you know, or where it's like she might be the reason why some of this stuff is messing up in his world. And I think that what we're going to see with Doctor Strange is him kind of rebuilding that school that he was a part of originally when in the first Doctor Strange movie, of him having like people, other beings from all different types of realms and multiverses learning from him. And I think that with the announcement of Wanda being in that movie, she might be one of those students as well, based off of all the madness that she is that she's creating right now.
Like a multiverse of madness.
Exactly.
I'm glad you caught that, Sincere.
It's your boy. Let's go.
One of the things I wanted to mention too before we hop off is when it was Monica, Jimmy, and
Darcy
Lewis. They're all trying to figure out like what's going on, and then they go meet up their aerospace engineer friend. I don't know why I put that in quotes, but
we don't know who he is.
There's theories that it's Reed Richards. I think you had a theory before, Narik, that you said it could be Beast.
Yeah.
There's so many things that it could be. It could just be some regular guy. For all we know, it's not
someone super.
Expect people are expecting John Krasinski to pop up, and they could. You know, I remember watching this video on this guy who got a bunch of sneak peeks to what Disney had coming, and they asked him a question. He's like, "I can't reveal that because I signed an NDA." But that's kind of like pleading the fifth because you know that's the right answer. So when they mentioned, do you think it's John Krasinski? By this time, you know, Disney Plus has all their castings ready, and it could very much be him. And he just plead the fifth. So it could be him. You know, that could be another guest.
He would be the only character or the only actor where people would just assume like, oh, okay, like we know who that is from the time that person gets introduced. And you know, Disney is never really like catered to the fans like that,
right?
You know, because the fans have really wanted John Krasinski and Emily Blunt to play Mr. Fantastic, and Invisible Woman. So if they did do this, it would be a really big fan service, and I wouldn't be surprised if they didn't. I don't think that they would lose like out any support. People would just be like, oh, like, all right. But if they did, I think that they can only get good things because the fans have already in their hearts been like, yes, I'm down for that.
Yeah.
What's funny is that no one has any theory at all that it could potentially be Miles Teller.
No, not at all. Not at all. If they
that
bring
would be
him
hilarious.
in, it would be crazy. It would be so crazy if they did that. But then a lot of people, another theory is that it is a scroll, that it's the scroll that was in Far From Home and in Captain Marvel. In Captain Marvel, his daughter. I forgot her name, but that was one of the plot points in Captain Marvel, and that his daughter would have been an age that was similar to Monica in them growing up. So it could have been like, oh, that's my alien friend, that I've had this whole time, and that she's an aerospace engineer. So then she kind of brings, she's able to construct what needs to be constructed.
Right.
Which I think is better for Disney to kind of bring in, because one, it ties Captain Marvel a little bit more, and it makes it so that we know that aliens have been working with humans this whole time, which if we have another human who's helping her make this, then there's still that misbelief of how far along are we, when it comes to Sword.
Yeah. I hope we get to, I'm very hype to see Darcy Lewis's character inside of the Hex.
Oh, someone was saying it's gonna be a super miss if they don't make her a waitress, like in the CBS show she's in.
Two Broke Girls.
Two Broke Girls. There we go. I'm upset you know that name. I don't think it will, but because everybody's turning to a circus. So I wouldn't doubt if she becomes like the ringleader of the circus. That'd be pretty dope. But
yeah, that was pretty crazy. That
was funny.
With her extension of the Hex, it basically brought all of Sword into a circus.
Yeah, that's what Wanda sees them as.
Because they're clowns.
They're clowns.
Yep.
Yeah. That was cool.
Dude, she just straight up said, "Oh, fudge." I thought it was the funniest thing.
It's funny because they cursed a few times in this episode. And then she just says, "Oh, fudge,"
Yeah, because I don't think Darcy's that type of person.
And then kick ass. The kids like kick ass, which is also a little funny reference. It's probably not even
Evan Peters.
I thought it was just funny.
No, Evan Peters is in Kick Ass.
Yeah. But I don't know if it's a direct one or they just.
I thought it was cool. It's just acknowledging both of that. And Kick Ass is a great movie if you guys haven't seen it.
I love that movie.
But I'm excited. I'm excited for these next few episodes. I don't know if it's confirmed, but I believe that the next 3 episodes will be hour-long episodes.
1 hour long episodes, yes.
So we're about to get 3 hours worth of just, oh my goodness, type of moments.
Yeah, I believe Feige confirmed it. I believe he confirmed in an interview that they're hour-long episodes each.
Awesome.
So we should be good to go.
So I feel like we're gonna get one backstory episode where it's just like gonna kind of give us like full backstory, either of like right after Endgame, that kind of thing, and then we're gonna get one more like Hex episode using like everybody that's in there, and then we're gonna get that episode of like everything just kind of hitting the fan, and that's kind of we might get our Luke Skywalker moment, quote unquote.
Yeah, I wonder if we're gonna get all these theories that people have, like Mephisto or Nightmare, like if that's truly what's at play. I was talking about this with Sin earlier, but I really hope a lot of these Easter eggs aren't fan service and that they don't have nothing to do with the show, because I mean we've gotten Easter eggs here and there, and it's like so far none of it truly has I guess
nothing's come of it.
Yeah. I don't think that we're going to know who the big bad is by the end of Wanda. I think that is going to be for Doctor Strange. Like, because of what Wanda's doing and how that happened, that has now unlocked the villain that Doctor Strange is going to have to deal with, because this is going to be the first time that we're going to see them pair up all of, the shows and the movies. And so to reveal it at the end of WandaVision and then that villain get destroyed at the same time, that's not their style.
That is true.
Yeah. One more thing to throw in before we go. Obviously, Wanda can't create anything out of nothing. We've gone over that. Like, so the boys are hers, right? They say they were born. Somehow she does become pregnant, right? They were born like with powers. So someone said, "What does that make them?" And that would be technically a mutant.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yep,
just
they're
like
they're the
yeah,
first
they're
they're the
starting to
first
bring on
mutants.
the mutants, especially with Rambeau. She's going to be a mutant
Yes.
because her genes are mutating. That's what they mentioned. So.
And they might have a difference between both. You know, you might have people who've mutated, and then you have people who are mutants who are born with their powers, and other people who've mutated to gain powers. So we'll see how that goes. I'm excited for these next episodes. We will be doing another quick dive of those episode 7 and episode 8.
Mm-hmm.
And then we will have
we're gonna have to one quick dive for the last one.
An extravaganza of an episode. We might even. I mean, what do you guys think, man? I'm gonna just throw it out there, man. We might have to just live stream it while we record. You know what I mean? For the last episode, we might have to do like a live reaction type of episode. I don't know. It's one episode. We might as well just go through the whole thing.
You're right. I'm down.
Yeah. No, yeah. That I'm down. We'll definitely talk about more details for that. But thank you again for tuning in to another quick dive by the Soundflick Podcast.
It's your boys.
And we'll see you on the next one.
Yes. Make sure and follow us on Instagram and all the places that you listen to podcasts, and support Productive Culture. If you want to start your own podcast, at productiveculture.com/podcast. It's right down below. Subscribe to our YouTube, support us on Patreon, and write us a review, because we would love to hear from you. Peace out, y'all.
Bye, friends.
Latest.